Hi, everybody. This is Kimberly.
And this is Katie.
And you're listening to A Date with Dateline. And since we are now officially in the summer of repeats, we picked a repeat that we did it in 2018. So how many years ago was that? 8. And math is hard. I picked this episode because Katie does not remember it at all. And because I never felt like it got the traction that it deserved, because it's a truly bonkers episode and also has my favorite thing, which is a church.
Back in those days, we were doing something called the Kimberly's Favorites, and almost all of them revolve around a pastor.
Yeah. I love a pastor, specifically a pastor who murders someone. Yeah.
Or fallen from grace pastor.
Yeah.
Or like religious leader. And so I think that's why it got lost.
Yeah.
Because this is a doozy. I remembered much more of Keith in this than anything else.
This is classic Keith. I have so many quotes of his that I put on our host spreadsheet that I am one day we're going to play a game with Mank and Keith. Mank said he's super into it, where we read a quote and then they have to guess which one of them said it.
I love this game.
I know.
I can't wait.
So this episode is called Secrets on the Emerald Coast. Right now, it's on Peacock season 34, episode 49, which means they put it on Peacock or re-aired it at some point this season. But originally, it was season 26, episode 16. But now it's season 34. It's confusing.
That's confusing.
And it aired originally March 2nd, 2018. So that was in our first year of the podcast. Yes, because we started in May of 2017.
Okay.
So it's hosted, as we said, by our leaning king, the king of leans, Keith Morrison. And he starts by saying, how do you catch a dancing sprite?
This.
Do you put it in a bottle?
This.
Can you package the joy she brings?
This.
Can you keep it when she goes?
All that.
You remember dancing sprite. Who could forget a dancing sprite?
I almost felt like I could do the quote. It was so memorable to me that I was like, oh, yeah.
What is in his head? Is he picturing Tinkerbell? Is he picturing Genie in a bottle? Like, I Dream of Genie?
Christina?
Is he picturing, I'm a genie in a bottle, I'm going to rub you the right way?
Wanna get dirty? No, I think he's picturing Hans Christian Andersen territory, and I think this is Thumbelina. Which is my little known nickname for Kimberly, which is Kimberlina.
Yeah. And you've just revealed it to everyone, and I feel exposed.
It's also not the full nickname. I will not reveal the full nickname, but it goes with the song.
I don't know the song, so I just think...
Tiny Kimberlina, you could fit into my hand. I hope you find a happy place in a sunny fairyland.
I'm uncomfortable.
We've had this conversation. She lives on like a lily pad. She floats around the river. She's a tiny sprite. She's a fairy.
Okay. I don't know why that reminds you of me.
Everyone watching this knows exactly why.
I'm short. That's
accurate.
All. Yeah.
No.
Because my hair?
Hair and hands.
Oh, okay. Tiny hands.
Tiny hands.
Long hair.
Curly, long hair.
Short.
Like very easily could float down a river. Not an inner tube, but like a leaf of
going
some
rafting.
Sort.
I'm going tubing with a beer in my hand.
I don't know. You could have magical powers. We don't know. Your mind has not unlocked those yet, but it's coming.
No, that's true. That's true. It's the brain fog, perimenopause. But once I'm done with that, it'll all be unlocked. I don't know what my excuse is thus far. I don't know why it hasn't been unlocked thus far, though.
There's something out there called the Gateway, which maybe we should talk about in our Patreon.
Is it a cult?
I don't know, because I've only just heard about it and I'm late to the ball game, but
Sounds like
I have it's something about unlocking parts of your brain. Should we do it? No.
No. I don't want to know what's deep in there.
But what if it's like
the secrets of my deep parts of my brain?
No. What if it's like the secret to
the world?
Magic.
Harry Potter?
Telepathy.
And then we become like 11 on Stranger Things, and then they lock us in an underground bunker lab and do tests on us and shave our heads.
What else have we got going on?
And then I won't have my hair.
It might be preferable. Underground lab.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe
Think about
if
it.
the world keeps going to hell,
Think about it.
we're
That's what I'm
safe in an
saying.
underground lab with rations.
Things that were once undesirable are now
Mhm.
possibly like the thing you want the most, very in vogue. So
Interesting.
there we go.
So the Sprite in question that Keith is speaking of is Marie Carlson. When she was happy, she could make the whole world sing. It's the equivalent to Smile Lights Up a Room.
It's also a song. I'd like to teach the world
That's
to sing.
teaching the world to sing. That's not making them sing. They can't even help it.
Through telepathy.
I don't know how she's doing it. She's just screaming, sing, mother effers.
Listen, maybe she did the gateway.
Mm-hmm. She gave her vulnerable heart and stored her secrets until, well, what happened? That's what Keith says. He does that a lot. He'll be like, until, well, you know, those sort of things.
Especially when we don't know yet. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't
know
know what happened, Keith. Oh, we do because we've seen this before, but Katie didn't remember. So we're going to need a tally for the word secret because we've already had 2 and we're not even started. Do you have a pen and paper?
Do I have a pen and paper? Of course I have a pen and paper.
I need an accurate count. Yeah.
Okay.
So we've had 1 in the title and 1 so far in the episode, I think.
2.
So 2. Keith says, but she was always that way, was Marie.
Yeah.
This formal way of talking, like he could say twas. It's almost like twas.
Twas Marie.
So from the time of the very first secret in her life. Are you writing it down? You weren't. You didn't even remember. How many is that?
There's 3, girl.
Okay, good. Born in the Philippines to a single mother, Marie was taken in by a family of an American service person.
Service person.
It's like Spider-Man.
Service persons.
Service person in the U.S. So born in the Philippines, single mom, taken in by an American serviceman who she learned years later was not just her benefactor, but was her actual father. Case scandalique. So she also learned that the best friend she grew up with, the serviceman's daughter, Esta, was her real sister. And they had just thought they were like pretend sisters. And we're meeting cute Esta, and she's very sweet. And she has a statement piece glasses. When Marie and Esta were older, they moved to Florida. So you know the story is about to get cray because we're in Florida. They became roommates in a place behind a karaoke club so they could sing all the time. Literally, they booked that apartment so they could sing all the time. And Keith is delighted by this. I know at one point we asked Keith what his karaoke song would be, but I cannot for the life of me remember what it was.
He said a hymn.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
He said hymn.
He didn't give a specific hymn. He said a hymn, and then I suggested a couple.
I forgot about that because I think his dad was a pastor or something.
It was something like that.
You guys had a bonding moment.
I was trying
growing
really
up
hard.
Churchy.
I was like, I can do this. Yeah.
Yes. And you did it.
Mm-hmm.
So Marie always wore pink and used the word beautiful all the time. When she was 18 and struggling, she was taken in by a second family. The mom was Kay, and she became like a mother to her. Marie's just hopping all over the world, getting taken in by families because she was so delightful.
What's going on at 18? I didn't quite understand that.
She was troubled. I don't know, troubled.
We get no explanation on it.
Is there a family out there that would take in a troubled 40-something-year-old, twos struggling podcasters of a certain age?
Yeah.
Who like to be taken to Applebee's for family dinner occasionally and maybe sent a gift card to Walmart once in a while.
They enjoy crafting. They don't need much. They just
watch
we don't
TV. We don't even want a lot of attention. We just want to be like
for very little. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And in fact, I'd like to stay in my current apartment. So I don't actually want to be taken in, but just like more financially. I'd like to be financially taken in.
You would like a sugar
family.
A sugar family that also works as a meal service.
Is that too much to ask?
Yeah. That I don't know. I'm not going to say never at this point.
My phone is open.
Yeah, please check
Call
the
me.
bottom of your screen. Call
Yeah.
now to
Call
sponsor.
the 1-800.
For just a cup of coffee a day. You can sponsor 2 podcasters who would really like craft closets.
So Kay
is the second mom.
Kay is the second
Barber.
mom. She called Marie Rosie because she was always so happy. Marie met and married Jeff Carlson. They had a baby named Paris. We're meeting Jeff on Dateline, so he's not the killer, most likely, because he is walking around outside in his B-roll in normal non-prison clothes. So Marie went on to get a college degree in criminal justice. She became a deputy sheriff and had dreams of joining the FBI so she could say, I am an FBI agent. But she never got there. Jeff learned that Marie had some troubling secrets from her earlier years. I don't see you marking it off.
I have a sheet going.
I know, but I saw that you weren't making any hand motions of writing. So I felt the need to encourage you.
Okay, I'm going to make a big show of it. I'm going to do like a flourish with a pen.
Lick the pen on the...
Like the fountain pen. Excuse me, sir.
Dip it in.
I do believe we have a mark for one. We are up to the 4th. I believe we have 4. 4 this time. Henceforth, there shall be 4. Moving forward, there shall be 5. Is that what you're looking for? I need accessories. I need a monocle, top hat. I need things. And now I don't have any. I need a hanky. Ugh, okay.
I need.
Press on.
Is that too much to ask?
I don't know. You're asking for a lot this episode. You want a sugar family.
Very needy.
Yeah.
You do.
That's bad. Okay.
So Marie had a secret. She had been SA'd when she was very young. And because of that, she went to a very dark place emotionally and was struggling with her mental health. They really tried to make it work, but they ended up divorcing. And she drifted from job to job and she moved around a lot. And Jeff decided maybe I should raise Paris because it'll be more stable. And she agreed with that, but she was still very involved in Paris's life. She saw her a lot. Then Marie found what her vulnerable, loving heart needed. Keith says, church. Is Keith saying that churches prey on vulnerable people?
No. He's saying that sometimes faith really helps people out when they need it the most.
You took
that is what I guarantee you.
Yes,
that is what
you're
Keith
right.
is saying.
It is my jaded, vulnerable heart.
I am the non-jaded version that is telling you if Keith said he does hymns at karaoke,
you're right.
Then absolutely that is what Keith means.
Yeah. So Marie found God in a strip mall church called Cavalry Emerald Coast Church. Esther was very happy for her that she had found God. Keith points out repeatedly that it is in a strip mall.
Was that shade? Maybe.
Yes. And he says, but fancy wasn't the point. Salvation was. I mean, I remember making so much fun of the strip mall church last time. However, I do prefer a strip mall church to a mega church that the pastor is living in a manse that was funded by the donations from all of his parishioners, or a giant walk-in closet filled with designer clothes like Mary Cosby. And she yells at her congregation for not giving her money on her birthday and calls them whores.
So
they're going to
been
hell.
To Tennessee. You've been here. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Apologies to everyone who lives in Tennessee where I live, but there's a lot of fancy church, and I've heard some things that aren't so nice. So
yeah, tax-free manse.
But this was a huge church. We are seeing B-roll. This is not a one-room strip mall church. I went to a church with my family that was a room that we rented in the convention center, and it was very small. because there was like 30 of us. That's with all children included. It was very small.
My temple started out renting from a church. They would let us have our services in a church.
But this seemed like it was hundreds of people gathered.
Yeah. It's a large strip mall.
It's like they took over maybe a Target.
It's large.
Big.
Yeah.
Now, the church down the street from me where I voted in the basketball court that was in the church that is not a school.
Oh, wow. Like for youth programming or...
you don't need to say programming. You could say youth programs.
Sorry, I didn't mean well.
So, anyways, I thought that I have never seen a basketball court in a church before. That was fascinating.
Nor have I.
And it's right when you walk in the main front doors. You have to walk through the basketball court. I didn't understand the layout of the church, and I wanted a tour.
That is a bad layout.
They also have a very large play set outside that's encased in glass, like a la McDonald's.
Oh.
I've never seen a child on it, though.
Oh.
I've never seen anyone on it.
Suspicious.
I have a lot of questions.
That's like a mattress store that's surprisingly empty all the time.
Not to mention that. The parking lot doesn't feel big enough for something with a basketball. I'm going to figure this out later. That's
Lots
a tangent.
of questions about this. Katie's new investigative podcast.
What's up with this church?
Yeah, what's up with this church? Yeah.
Holy shnikes. What is that? Okay, we'll come up with something better.
So the pastor, James Flanders, was charismatic. Him?
We call that Christomatic.
It's Christomatic because no one with the last name Flanders could be charismatic. I think it's just impossible. James Dean, if his name was James Flanders, which is actually what this guy's name is, could not be charismatic. He wears jeans and sneakers while he gives his sermons, and he was live streaming and YouTubing his sermons, spreading the gospel. And Keith says he preached the Bible foursquare, which I was not familiar and had to look it up.
Did you think it was F-O-R-E? Foursquare?
No.
Forlorn.
I thought it was like 4 and 7. 20 squares ago.
Did you think that Foursquare was the game Foursquare?
I used to love Foursquare, where you stand in the squares and have the bouncy ball. I loved that game. That was the only sport I liked.
Me too.
Because you don't have to run. You just get to stand there. I would have preferred a chair. Like if I could maybe sit, then it would be
you
perfect.
had to be active. I mean, I was trash at tetherball.
Yeah, me too.
Garbage.
But you're tall.
But no hand-eye coordination.
Hmm.
Yeah, my brain does not want to do that. Doesn't want that thing going around.
We're meeting the youth pastor of the church. And right away, I never trust a youth pastor.
I know you don't.
I do not trust a youth pastor named Jason who says that the church was a happening place. And right then I was like, why are you trying to sound hip? Because you are trying to appeal to the youths that you are pastoring? I don't trust you, Jason.
Because the pastor wore jeans and tennies.
It was a happening place. I think this church is more likely a brand unhappy being on Dateline and is now associated with murder than being a happening place. But
I think this church absolutely has changed its name.
Oh, it's done. I looked it up.
Oh, it's done.
Yeah. So James Flander, preacher, and Flanders, apologies, and his wife, Tanya, took in Marie for the third time. Third time's the charm. Marie gets taken in again by a family, and they were supposed to help Marie get back on her feet, and she would eventually move out. But instead, Marie got pregnant. And the story going around was that it was an abusive boyfriend who abandoned her, pregnant. Marie has a baby girl named Grace. The Flanders explained to youth pastor Jason, no, we are not a strange throuple or anything like that, even though it's 2011 and no one, I don't think, not a lot of people knew what throupling was back then.
Wait, did he say throuple? He doesn't say throuple.
He says, just so you know, she's down on her luck like Mary having to give birth in a barn sort of situation. So we're helping her out because we're such good people. And Jason was like, okay, cool.
I don't think that's how Mary works. I'm just going to say, but I understand.
Well, someone let her stay in that barn, or was she just frogging in that barn?
There was no room at the inn, Kimberly.
Right. So didn't the inn owner say you can go in the barn?
And the inn owner saw, there's all these people with her. There's like shepherds and then people with this smelly stuff.
And there's like a donkey. And
there's lots of people and animals.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a full menagerie following her. And so
Right.
he's like, but you can sleep in my barn. There's no room here. Head out to the stable.
Well, he didn't let her give birth, outdoors, essentially.
It's a stable.
I mean, it has a roof, so that he was helping her out.
On hay, and it smells like manure.
Listen, he could have done more. Was this the bare minimum he could have done for a pregnant lady? Yes.
Giving birth to Jesus,
God's
to God's
child.
son.
But he didn't know that. He didn't know that.
Okay.
Yeah, he could have done more. But I don't know what his story is. Maybe his wife had cancer. He was dealing with a lot. His inn was about to close. He didn't have any room. So.
Well, it was also Christmas. It was the holidays.
Yeah, it was prime holiday pricing.
That's not.
And
no,
travelers for the holidays.
The holiday. The
yes,
holiday was begot. But maybe it was a popular vacation time in Bethlehem. We don't know.
Winter. Everyone loves to travel during winter. Okay. 3 months after she gives birth, a strange text goes out from Marie's phone to her family and friends saying she left Fort Walton Beach, which is the town where she lives in, and saying she's going off to do something she's always wanted to do. And she's not telling people because they'll try to stop her. But she loves everyone. That's it.
Monster truck.
The monster truck rally? She's gonna.
Is that it?
Yeah, maybe. She's gonna take a workshop and learn how to drive one.
Yeah.
Or she's attending a rally.
No, she wants to participate.
She wants to be one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she left 3-month-old baby Grace in the care of the Flanders.
No.
She didn't leave the baby with Kay, who is her surrogate mother. She didn't call her daughter Paris to say goodbye.
No.
So it's very strange. So Esta, her sister, says, I thought this was bizarre and something was wrong, but maybe it's just me because I watch a lot of Law and Order. And Keith grimaces because he's thinking, why aren't you watching Dateline? F Jack McCoy, I'm mother effing Keith Morrison. Sorry, I'm Keith mother effing Morrison. It's usually his middle name. So Kay says to Jeff, Marie's ex-husband, you need to file a missing persons report. And he does. And I feel like he likes taking direction from Kay. And I feel like he was fine with that. I think Jeff sounds like a good guy. I get good vibes from Jeff. I don't think he's a murderer.
Not at all. I don't get any murdery vibes.
So he goes and files a missing persons report. And the police actually take it seriously, even though Marie is an adult who is known to travel and go off on last-minute adventures. The detective that's in charge of this case is Keith, another Keith. I don't know how tall he is. I don't know if he leans because we mostly see him sitting down. And he is looking into the case. The family tells him they were suspicious right away because the message didn't sound like Marie. I don't know why. She used a couple smiley faces. Maybe that wasn't like Marie.
Did you read it?
I did. It seemed normal. Everything was spelled right. Maybe Marie was a bad speller. We've had a Dateline where it was every proper grammar. I knew it wasn't her.
The way the text was like a letter where you're sent. It's how you
in
would
paragraphs.
like me. You would like me to send text like this because
Instead
I send.
Bleep, bleep,
I
bleep,
send
bleep.
things in thoughts both for comical effect and also
Bleep.
because it's how my brain works. So it's like little thoughts. It's bad. It's not great. I use new message as a pause and then move on to the next thought, which is really annoying for Kimberly. And I
it
really
is if I'm
try not to do
on
it.
my phone, emailing or talking to someone
it's
and
so
it keeps
annoying.
going bleep, bleep, bleep.
No, it's terrible for the wrong person. It's terrible. I think it's terrible for everyone. So anyways, apologies about that. But I was more wondering if that was her scenario where she doesn't send messages like that, where it's all in one thought. It would be more in chunks.
Yeah.
And also, I wonder if that's something that they teach now in forensics about the style of text messenger. How do they text? How is their texting form?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because it's wildly different person to person. So
yes, that's true. Like I always sound really bored and I tend to use punctuation except for the last sentence. I never put the period because I feel like just let it float off into the sky with no period.
You could send Kimberly a paragraph and she will just send, okay.
Yeah.
It makes her seem like she's furious all the time. It is a common fact. So out there, if you're texting Kimberly and you get a, okay, or a yes, or a, I don't know. It's not mean. It's just she's doing her duty and responding to the text and there will be no extra characters spared.
No. Now, emailing, it's too many exclamation points. It's aggressive.
So many.
Aggressive exclamation
pointing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I'm messaging with a listener, way too many exclamation points. I sound psychotic.
Everyone feels like, huh.
Yeah.
It just seems like you're really excited.
I really should.
You're
she
excited
wants to be
or
friends
anxious?
with this listener way too badly.
Probably both. Excited and anxious. Nope. Nope. It's not going to work.
I overcorrect my texting style when I'm DMing, and I do a lot of exclamation points.
It's bizarre.
I swing the other way. So at the same time that Keith is looking into this, Keith, our detective, another detective, Nestle. Her name is Nestle.
Nestle Sui Moore.
She became a mother. I could not comprehend how she was a detective and a mother. She looks 19.
Yeah.
Does she gua sha? I need to know what her skincare regimen is.
No. She doesn't have time for gua sha.
She doesn't. So she came back from maternity leave and hears about Keith's case and is like, I want to in on that. She bullies her way into the investigation. She knows that Marie could never have left her newborn baby and her daughter Paris, which is why you need women in the police force, because they see things that dumb men don't, which men just figure moms are just leaving kids left and right like men are. Why did they need a woman to say she would never have left her newborn child?
What? Why are you making this about that? It's unnecessary.
Why? Why?
Because we have seen male detectives also care about this. It's not like it never happens.
Why do they need this woman to come on and be like, oh, she would never leave? Why do men think that a mom would just leave her baby?
I don't think they thought that. Was that something that they were saying? That Motz was like, I just thought she took off in the night and went to Monster Truck.
No. Keith is a good detective and he knows that this is legit. But we have seen many detectives on Dateline be like, meh.
We've seen some questionable stuff.
She probably just left her kid. That makes sense. While she was still breastfeeding.
They seem like a great pair too.
One is old, one is young.
Yeah. And we get a lot of duo B-roll in this. And it was cute. I liked it.
Yeah. Nestle learns that Marie had a heart of gold, which is a lesser known trope than Smile That Lights Up a Room or Loved Life or Gave You the Shirt Off Your Back, but it's still a classic Dateline.
And also foreshadowing for something to come.
Yes, you're right. So Esta tells the detectives that this pastor and his wife have taken Marie in recently, but she can't give them any information about the father of baby Grace because she doesn't know it. She says she did not want to pry, and she's learned from Marie that Marie will tell her things when she's ready. I really like that she's respecting her sister's boundaries, but to me, who is the father is not prying. It's just like comment.
Between sisters?
Between
100%.
sisters.
Yeah.
That seems like the first question you would ask.
Right. do you know who might be the dad, or do you want them involved? Like, these are just
Right.
standard questions.
Standard
or
questions. Yeah.
Does it
She's
not
like,
matter?
I didn't want to pry.
Sometimes that makes me feel like you don't want to know the answer if you don't want
If
to
you're not asking. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the pastor and his wife were interviewed, and we keep seeing this photo of them in worship, just praise hands. Prayers up. Prayers up. Nestle says that Flanders was charismatic. Again,
Christomatic.
him? I could not even spell charismatic because I was so upset by hearing that he was charismatic. So every time I'm looking that I spelled charismatic, because my brain could not comprehend that he was charismatic. He is not. I'm just going to say, in every footage that we see of him, every YouTube clip, he's a dud. He doesn't pop. I'm not getting the Jesus-y feels.
Maybe comparatively he is.
Comparatively to whom?
Other preachers in the area. That's why people keep saying it. Maybe
The
there are
bar
some
is very
churches
low.
that are more like the church I went to in the convention center,
And now we pray,
where it's hymns
John,
and everything's very sad.
Psalms 3:16.
So I'm saying maybe he's more charismatic and is like, hey, this is all cool, but here's what God says about it. That's what I'm picturing. Like, you might think that having a Slurpee every day, while it tastes delicious, but what is it doing to your body? Because God says that our body is a temple. And you don't want to put Slurpee in your temple. Sorry, I don't know where.
You're projecting onto yourself, I feel like. This is what you need. You feel like you might need a pastor to tell you.
I don't want anyone to tell me what to drink from 7-Eleven.
He doesn't even talk in a cool way, though, like a surfer dude. He doesn't
I'm
even
sure he
talk like
does.
that. But we
Yeah.
saw clips, and it was
I know.
very just,
That's more youth pastor.
that's definitely Jason probably talks like
So
that.
it's just the jeans
It's just the jeans and sneakers that they think equals charisma.
and the pulpit. Remember, it's that huge wooden cross. It's not a
Yeah.
normal podium. It's like,
Yeah.
we've built this thing.
And there's a band, so like he's kind
Oh,
of
no.
surrounded by guitars.
No,
So that they
no,
might
no,
think
no,
he might pull out a guitar at a dog park and aggressively flirt with women and sing Wonderwall.
Our God is an
Or
awesome
bubbly,
God,
bubble.
he reigns.
By the way, I couldn't have gotten bubbly toes more wrong. A, it's called bubble toes, not bubbly toes. B, it's Jack Johnson, not Jason Mraz or whoever I said it was.
I'm sorry. I thought you were singing, it starts in the toes and I crinkle my nose.
No.
Wherever it goes. That song called Bubbly. And that's what I thought
Different
you were talking
song.
about.
Yeah, that's a different song.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go.
Nestle says Flanders is charismatic. Footage not found, but okay.
At 404 error.
Keith says, I wonder what it would be like to hear him preach. And Nestle says, you could YouTube him with a little mock in her voice.
Was that shade? Yes.
And Keith says in voiceover, yes, you can. And then they show us a clip. And again, no Riz coming out of that screen.
No.
But Jason Flanders grew the Calvary Emerald Coast Church from nothing to packed pews. So he was building quite a following. The Flanders tell detectives that Marie sometimes just went away on spur-of-the-moment trips, but they were worried about her at this point because of her mental state. She was bipolar and was off her medication because she had given birth. And then they show the detectives an empty prescription bottle as if to imply they're worried she might have gone and hurt herself or done overdose or something. James says the day that she left, he was so worried about her that he stayed home from churching, from work. And he was worried that she would take the baby and maybe harm the baby. So he stayed home, vigilant. So that day, Marie goes to take a nap. Tanya takes the baby out shopping to run errands. And then Marie wakes up. She talks to James for a little bit, and then he decides to go out for a run.
You took a 3-month-old baby out shopping?
Tanya did that. That's not even the real issue.
It's part of the issue. Okay.
The real issue would be you stayed home from work to watch her because you were so worried, but then you left to go on a jog.
After talking to her.
So then he should have gone back to work because you're playing hooky right now.
Well, yeah, but God gives you time off.
I guess. Did he put
For
in the
good
time
behavior.
off? Also, who runs? Who plays hooky from work and then goes on a jog?
Definitely this pastor. Does it surprise you at all that he ran?
No, because he pastors in sneakers. So he always has those sneakers strapped to his feet.
He's going to do running analogies.
Mm-hmm.
Because your faith is like a marathon.
Yeah. When he came back from his jog, Marie was gone. Because you were supposed to be watching her. That was the point of you taking the day off work. She took her truck, but her things are still there, even though it appears like she had packed her bags, but then left her bags. And I was thinking, classic ADHD.
True.
Who amongst us? How many times did my mom leave her groceries at the grocery store? Either in the cart, next to the car, on top of the car, outside the supermarket, because she was going to pull the car around.
Mm-hmm.
So she didn't come back. So the next day they drove around looking for her and they found her truck in the long-term parking at the airport. So they figured she flew somewhere to go visit a friend or something. Detectives look into this and they find no record of her taking a flight. Keith says she could have been trying to hide her tracks from snooping friends, but maybe someone else took her truck to the airport to make it look like she'd left town. And Keith says, rather fishy. Detectives go to the toll booth where you turn your ticket in as you're leaving to check out of the parking, and they go through every ticket. I couldn't believe the tickets were still there because it's already been like a week and a half since she disappeared.
I mean, long-term parking is so expensive.
What are you implying? They keep the tickets?
I'm implying that it's normal that they don't have that many tickets because people are doing short-term or they're getting dropped off at the airport. Long-term parking is for rich folk.
Gotcha. Yeah, we don't know that world. So they find the ticket. There's a print on it, but they can't tell who it's from. It's like a thumbprint or something, and they can't figure out who it's from. And they check the surveillance video. It's not working. So they don't know who dropped the truck off. The detectives now think it is a homicide case and that Marie is dead, but they don't have a body. And Keith calls it a nest of puzzles. Keith says churches tend to be a beehive of gossip. So first a nest and now a hive.
Now a hive.
The detectives bring in church members who are so excited to be in police interrogation, and they get to spill the piping hot Jesus tea. This is how excited I would be. I would be thrilled. There's a murder at the temple. I'm so excited. I will talk. I don't even know anything.
Bring in the church ladies.
So they want to find out who Marie's baby daddy was. One church lady, again, very excited to be in police interrogation, says she heard Marie was being abused by the baby daddy and wanted to get an abortion. God forbid. Pastor James Flanders and Tanya didn't want her to get an abortion, obviously. So they were going to adopt the baby themselves. They had an older child who we don't hear anything about, but they were never able to have another child. So then another church person tells a story that Marie was supposed to stay home for 3 months with the Flanders to nurse the baby. And then she was going to leave the baby as a gift for the Flanders.
And that's where you've lost me.
I'd rather have a Visa gift card. Can I return this baby for a gift receipt? None of this appealed to me. No, thank you.
The gift sounds fake. That's bad.
Yeah.
And if I was a church lady, I would be immediately skeptical and talking to everyone else about it. What do you mean a gift? What did he mean a gift? Who gives a baby?
Because they had taken her in. And so to pay them, how about some back rent pay? She was going to give them a baby.
We would like your second born child.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Like their house is so great to stay in. So the detectives don't think this story sounds right. And they can't find any evidence that this abusive father of the baby even exists. They talked to Jeff, Marie's ex-husband, and he had asked Marie who the father of the baby was. And she had told him she was a surrogate for the Flanders, and they did artificial insemination with the pastor, James, being the sperm donor. Detectives interview 3 very close church friends of Tanya, the pastor's wife, and they are the inner circle. You know, they think they are so cool because they're friends with the pastor's wife. They're like the popular church biddies because they're with Tanya.
I don't want to say nightmare, but I want to say nightmares. Like, you cannot make them mad at the potluck.
No, and it's like, oh, you brought another angel food cake to the bake sale. I'm going to have to talk to Tanya about that when we're on our phone call tonight. We talk every night because we're best friends.
Do you know what a cakewalk is?
Yes, we do. I've participated.
It's a cake on every square, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's just one time around the circle and then...
No, you keep going. It's like musical chairs.
But then who gets all the cakes? See what I'm saying? I thought it was musical chairs too, but there's lots of cakes.
There might be one less square like musical chairs than there are cakes. And then the one that you...
See where I'm getting stuck. Can somebody please just watch Pollyanna and tell me what happens in the cakewalk?
There's definitely multiple rounds and it narrows down in people like that. And you do wind up with a cake.
But maybe not the cake you want. Maybe there's better
that's
cakes
why
and lesser cakes.
Right. And so you're trying to like speed up to walk faster or slow down if you're right by a cake that you want. If it's the final round. Because that would happen every round. I don't
see what I'm saying. How many cakes are there?
A lot. And there's an episode of King of Queens that I'm specifically thinking of.
I would just like to maybe be invited to one because I've had a hankering for some cake and it feels like the easiest, cheapest way for me to get some.
You could just go to the grocery store.
The easiest, cheapest way.
They don't have cake at the discount grocery store?
A whole cake at grocery outlet?
I don't know. I've never been, but I'm going to start going because groceries are expensive.
Yeah, you really should start going.
I know.
I got some good stuff last time.
Okay.
I got those pretzels I like.
And I'll get some Pop Rocks flavored Diet Coke or something.
Yep, you got to get the weird sodas. You try that Dirty Dew yet?
Ew, no. I don't even try regular Dew. I don't like Dew.
I know, but... Okay. Anyways, press on.
The church ladies, the inner circle, they say yes, Pastor James is the sperm donor and Marie was the surrogate, but the method was very homemade, according to what Tanya had told them. So they say when Tanya first told us, she said they did insemination with a turkey baster at home. And the detective says...
Well...
Now she has a secret. Mark it off. But then Tanya is marking it off very dramatically.
Pip, pip.
Then Tanya admitted to her friends, actually, we did it the old-fashioned way. So Marie and James had sex in what I was picturing some type of Handmaid's Tale. Impregnation ritual.
I wrote it down. Oh God,
Tanya
please no.
was holding
please no.
the back of Marie, and Marie is now called of Flanders.
Oh no, not of Flanders.
And I was very uncomfortable.
It is difficult to watch in Handmaid's Tale. Like that act. There's a lot of parts that are difficult to watch.
There's so many that are
Handmaid's
difficult,
Tale.
but that's right up there.
But you get there early and you're like, oh no. Yeah, me too. I pictured exactly that.
Yeah. They're having this baby. They had thrown themselves a baby shower, not for Marie, but for Tanya, because she's the one keeping the baby. So she's opening the presents, but Marie is there at the baby shower celebrating. And she seems happy. Like they're posing together. Tanya put a balloon under her shirt so she could pose belly to fake belly with
I think that makes
Marie.
it worse. I feel like that makes it worse.
They're touching bellies in this photo, but Tanya's is a fake balloon belly. And it's so hilarious, this situation. Now, I'm sure there are people who are this close with their surrogates and do celebrate like this.
We're not in that situation.
But this situation feels weird.
Well, it's a power dynamic
There's
imbalance.
a power dynamic between, yes, 100%.
This really does feel like an Am I the A-hole story on Reddit, where it's like, the surrogate is throwing me a baby shower, but it's actually a baby shower for her. I don't know. It feels
you're saying
like that.
Am I the A-hole is the surrogate writing in.
Yes.
I thought like, so I was at this baby shower and my mom said I was giving dirty looks because I could not believe the situation because the surrogate is there and she's living under their roof and like they are using her as a surrogate as exchange for rent. It's very strange. Okay, so they pose so funny, belly to belly. These church ladies were sworn by Tanya to keep this a secret.
Keep what?
Write it down. Because they felt like this surrogacy situation could threaten the church. Not sure why, because they were going to end up keeping the baby and they were going to have to explain that they kept Marie's baby. Maybe the fact that they actually boned to have the baby.
Okay, they're not saying it like that. They're saying it was immaculately done. They're not going to say it was immaculate conception.
The secret part is that there was no turkey baster.
It was loving, and we hear details about it later. You just have to stand by. It's coming. It's coming, everybody.
Oh, yeah, we do hear some. Yeah, we do. So they were sworn to secrecy on this because Tanya was worried that this would get out and threaten the church and everything that James had built. And Keith says, as it gets more and more into weird stuff, the stakes got higher. He says,
I don't think you're supposed to say that, Keith.
I think that we have to bear in mind that this episode was a long time ago.
No, this episode was 6 years ago. 8 years ago.
8 years ago, when less was known about all of this stuff. But still, we knew about surrogacy.
We knew a lot about surrogacy.
But I think the religious element, usually you don't have a surrogate that you impregnate by having sex with them.
I think that's exactly what Keith is talking. I don't think Keith is being rude. I think he's like, it's the Handmaid's Tale of it all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. He says, but there's no room for secrets in an investigation.
At the end. Oh.
At the end.
Dang it. We were so close.
Oh, man. What's our tally for secrets?
7.
Oh, that's not bad. So police ask Tanya and James to come to the station, but only Tanya comes and she talks. She talks about that night of sake and sex, or as Keith says, sake and sex.
Sexy.
Sexy. When Grace was conceived. So she's laughing to the detectives, chuckling, and she's like, yeah, James had some. I was the only one that was sober. Yes, I was there when James and Marie had sex. I was in the room.
Handmaid's Tale. That's all I could think. You were in the room. You were sober. They were not.
She tells the detectives even more heresy, as Keith calls it, because Marie was going to be their number 2. And as Keith says, so plural wife or whatever it's called. And Nestle says, I think sister wife. Have you never heard of Cody Brown, Keith? I am jealous of you. I'm so jealous.
Keith doesn't need to know about that. Keith doesn't need to know.
So it was polygamy or their homegrown version of it, Keith says.
But why wasn't it just polyamory? If they're not getting married, why weren't they just polyamorous? So they have multiple partners. That's what I didn't understand.
Because the Bible doesn't maybe condone polyamory, but it condones having
polygamy.
a second wife in like one verse in the Old Testament.
That's a sin or made up maybe by Joseph Smith. I'm not sure, or Brigham Young. But I don't understand why they're going all the way to polygamy.
I think there are men in the Old Testament who had multiple wives. And so he thinks that is more acceptable than having
Just than being polyamorous.
Polyamorous, which
in
they
Florida,
aren't.
Definitely.
He's polyamorous. Marie was not I'm sorry. Marie and Tanya were not polyamorous, like with each other. So it was a sister wife situation because they were not sexually together.
That we know of.
We know of. So he was the one that had two wives. So that would be like a bigamy.
100%.
But they would be spiritually married, not legally married. So sister wife. So Tanya tells the detective she totally knew what the situation was and she was fine with it. She said a relationship isn't about sex and, a relationship is about a connection to another person or some nonsense, and sex is just a bonus. And I didn't really understand where she was going with any of this, but the important part is that Keith says a very secret bonus.
A secret boner? Oh.
Bonus.
Oh.
Mark it down. Every time she forgets.
I know. I'm sorry. I thought you said secret boner.
No.
It was a secret bonus and a secret boner.
This was going to be kept from the church and really everyone. Like, no one was talking about this, except Tanya was talking about it to apparently all of her church friends. Tanya says she was so happy with this arrangement, and Marie was also so happy that Tanya was raising Grace and Marie was going to be there too. That's what makes this like a non-typical sister wife arrangement. Like I've seen a lot of shows with sister
and they
wives.
Raise their own.
They raise their own children and together as a group, but you raise your own. There might be a surrogate for one of the other wives. I've not seen that on a show, but I'm sure I guess that does happen. But that would be strange to live in the same home as your child and the mom you gave your child to. So it's strange. The plan was for Tanya to raise the baby, but then Marie gave birth and she kind of changed her mind. According to them, she was struggling with her mental health. She became very withdrawn whenever they tried to talk to her about it. She didn't want to let Tanya have the baby. So the church ladies are speculating maybe Marie was starting to want the baby and hot, charismatic Pastor James all to herself. She didn't want to share him and his charisma. Who wouldn't? So Tanya was like sharing all of this with the church ladies, her side of what was happening or whatever story she was trying to spin. And she let a few other nuggets slide to her church family. She would say things like, James wouldn't be able to get rid of Marie, but I could. As in, kill her.
Wow, Tanya. Okay.
And she said it to two different people that we know of, that James was too nice to do it, but she could take care of it.
Tanya, this doesn't make you cool. It feels like you're doing that. That feels like a weird flex that you don't.
Is this something people brag about in church? I thought you bragged about my kid is in the, nativity play, or God loves me the most because I just got a new Mercedes and I tithe more than you, Bisque. I don't know what happens at church.
The inner circle, listen, it gets weird.
I only know churches from sitcoms, so I can only imagine.
Does it not get weird in the temple?
Not that weird, no.
There's no drama?
Not that much, no. I mean, people gossip, but it's more like gossiping about what's going on at the head up, I guess. So it's same thing.
So there is some drama, right? But this is bizarre. This feels like this is a whole other level.
I bet there's a lot of gossip at Temple too. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Pastor James is pastoring. What's it? Sermonizing?
Yeah, that's it. Sermonizing. Keep going.
In jeans and sneakers, he sneaks in verses about polygamy from the Old Testament, hoping to get his church on board. So Keith calls it a trial balloon, but it quickly imploded. So I'm guessing like people didn't like where he was heading with some of these sermons about polygamy.
Yeah.
So their polygamy stayed a secret because he soft launched the polygamy storyline and it didn't go well. So it stayed a secret. It went back in the closet. Also mark off that last secret, please. So Tanya felt like if anyone in the church found out about their arrangement, it could ruin James's career. Again,
yes.
But no one is talking about this except you, Tanya. You are the one that has spread all of this to the members of your congregation.
Why can't she just be a surrogate? Why can't you just say she's a surrogate? Why are we talking about the polyamory, the polygamy? What are we doing?
Spreading rumors about a boyfriend and then telling Turkey Baster. Why are you telling your friends this stuff if you want it to be a secret? Keep it a secret.
I want another baby, and we're you going to use this wonderful new member of our congregation as a surrogate, and she's going to live with us. The end.
Right. Police check cell phone records, and Tanya's phone wasn't near Marie's phone when she went missing, but Pastor James's phone was when Marie's phone sent that strange goodbye text to everyone. His phone was near Marie's phone, and his phone was near the airport when her car was dropped off there.
At long-term parking, which nobody uses.
Jason, the youth pastor, Keith says, remember him? And I was like, how could I forget? He is on my very personal watch list. Also, he's on my short watch list titled Suspicious Men Who Wear Billabong T-shirts in their Dateline B-roll while leading a church youth group Bible study so they appear young and hip. And so far, he's the only member on that list, but it's open.
I'm going to upset you because I actually thought that you would think that Jason was really cute. And I was like, I wonder if Kimberly will overlook that he's a youth pastor.
You know what's funny? I think I did think he was cute the first time, but new Kimberly is so jaded 8 years later of just doing Dateline recaps.
That we know not right. Yeah.
Now nothing can help me overlook that.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Jason. Jason had a fine spirit to me. I was fine with his vibe checked out.
He turns out to be an okay guy that we know about, but then we see him. So first, Billabong T-shirt leading a youth group.
Normal.
Bible study.
100%.
And then we see him walking in front of some swings at a playground. And I thought, that's not helping your cause, dude.
He's a youth group teacher. They didn't say what age the youths are. He's not the teen outreach leader.
We saw the Bible study and they were
But that
all
was
teens.
with the teens. But he might be in charge of all the youths.
I'm not saying that he is a nefarious youth pastor, but my suspicions were heckled when I saw him at this playground wandering by himself, a grown man.
He's not a priest.
Yeah, youth pastors, have you never heard bad things about youth pastors?
I have. I'm not making the swing connection. I'm making more of a swinging connection because of all of the churches that we covered on Dateline. That is definitely true. What's up, Florida? What's the ratio down there? I would like to see some numbers.
Of perfs?
Yeah, just people that then later
Sex registry members?
Yeah.
To non-sex registry members?
Yeah. I would like to see numbers.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So youth pastor Jason comes to detectives and says, I have information that you need to know. Shortly after Marie disappeared, Pastor James went to a church elder and asked his help to get out of the country. We get no more information on who is this elder and what special skill set did he have to help Pastor James get to another country. Is it mob ties? Is it faking passports? We don't know.
Florida. Why also doesn't Pastor James just say, I've decided that my calling is
in Argentina or a country that doesn't extradite?
I would like to do a missionary trip for a year to the Baltics or whatever.
Right.
I don't know who doesn't extradite.
Yeah, I don't have the list right off the top of my head.
I would like to do this. I feel like I've had a calling from God to go to this place. How quickly can we make this happen? I really feel like it's strongly put upon my heart. There's a way to do this that's not, hey, I got to get out of here.
I got to fake my death and
you got to get me to the Maldives.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to go to Moldova.
Yeah. So the elder thought that James seemed suicidal. So he told a doctor friend, and the pastor is put in a hospital for 10 days. So we do now know one of the elder's special skills, which is getting someone
committed.
So that's impressive. He was put in the hospital for 10 days for a life-threatening lack of charisma.
Christisma.
While James is in the hospital, Jason, the youth pastor, takes over the church, which got me thinking, could Jason be behind this whole thing?
No.
Framing James, it's a little all about Eving to get the head pastor job.
Jason passes the vibe check. He's the gut says he's good. He's fine. There's nothing untoward about Jason. Stop trying to make something where there isn't a thing.
Oh, I would never do something like that.
How dare ye?
So that's my whole personality. So Jason now hears things from the church gossipers because now he's the head pastor for a while.
From the inner circle.
And James is in the hospital. So they're gossiping to him now. So he hears from the inner circle about the polygamy stuff. And Keith calls it, and he's talking to Jason. He says, forgive my saying it, but a come to Jesus moment.
There we go, Keith.
So Jason has to confront his mentor, James, about the polygamy. I hope he did it when he was out of the hospital. Did he go to the psych ward and accuse him of polygamy?
You do what you got to do.
Yeah. So James admits it. He tells him everything, and he keeps talking. He tells Jason that he and Marie got into a physical fight before she disappeared, and she had scratched his arms, but she was alive when he left. Jason says he was in shock at all of this, and Keith says, you're buffaloed, which I didn't catch the first time we did this episode because I thought buffaloed we've had first heard that in a different episode. But apparently Keith said it in this one too. He just says it under his breath.
He says it quietly. I thought it was this one. I assumed it was this one. Okay.
No, because that was the first time I had ever heard buffaloed when we did that other episode. So Pastor James decides to resign, I think, as opposed to being like forcibly removed. He chooses to resign. And he and Tanya move states quickly with baby Grace at midnight. They were supposed to go say goodbye to some church members the next day, but instead they leave at midnight and they flee like thieves in the night to Arizona. Usually criminals flee to Florida, but what do you do when you already live in Florida? You go to Arizona.
Or you go, I would say, to Mexico.
I would go to New York City because I would hide in a huge number of people. You go invisible, hiding in plain sight.
That seems smart.
Also, I just don't want to live in Arizona.
Because it's on fire?
It's
because
on
of the
sun. As Peggy Hill says, this city should not exist. It is a monument to man's arrogance.
Arizona might be like living in the sun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not even on, just in. A few days later, Jason tells his story to detectives. Before they left, Kay had asked the Flanders for Marie's belongings, and they had given them to her. The computer has been erased, but Kay turns it over to the police, and they have their tech person looking, and they recover everything from the last time Marie synced up her phone to do a backup. It's on the
There we
computer.
go.
So there's thousands of pages of text messages from her last phone backup, but they're in jumbles, like partially words. It's hard to read, symbols. And
Yeah.
so Nestle calls it a beautiful copy of her phone data, which I thought was cute because beautiful was Marie's word. So she said a beautiful copy. But they can't really read the text messages very well. There's also a video that Marie shot of James hawking gold and silver coins on the internet,
This was my
wearing
favorite.
sunglasses and a Hawaiian print shirt, standing on the ocean. And at the bottom of the screen, it says workwithjamesflanders.com, which is, I guess, his website.
It's a pyramid scheme.
1000%.
It's an MLM.
This gold coin will only go up in value.
It's worth $500. But it's like pre-Bitcoin. It's actual gold coins.
You've heard of incense and myrrh. What is the
Frankincense
and myrrh? Try gold and silver. That's what the real wise men use. So Keith says, so was James just a pastor or a part-time flim-flam man?
Flim-flam man. Definitely part-time flim-flam man. Maybe full-time flim-flam man.
I love flim-flam man. I would have guessed Dennis would have been the one to say flim-flam man, but Keith.
Did Keith get it from Dennis?
Maybe.
Okay.
So detectives get an anonymous tip that says that Pastor James buried Marie in the backyard. And Nestle thinks, who would be dumb enough to bury someone in their own backyard? Are you new here? I love you, Nestle, but this happens quite a bit, actually.
So many people.
Just so many people.
Just Chad Daybell. Everyone.
So they bring cadaver dogs and radar equipment, but they don't find anything in the backyard. Detectives keep trying to call James in Arizona, and he keeps dodging their calls. But after a year, he finally answers and says, I've been told by my lawyer to not talk to you. Yet he proceeds to talk to them for 2 hours. He says, I'm so angry with Marie for leaving, and I'm angry at myself for letting her go and for getting myself in this relationship. And I'm so scared, and I'm praying that she didn't hurt herself. But if she did, I hope she did it very, 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 very far away, because if they find one little bone, it's going to be my fault. Everyone will say it was James.
Okay, the one little bone is the worst thing you could have said, the weirdest comment. And immediately makes me think you have little Marie bones lying around. You know where they are.
Totally. So Keith says, unlike a fine wine, a cold case doesn't get better with age. It just gets colder.
He just went all out in this one. Keith just does a full steam ahead.
The DA's office doesn't think this case will be solved. But then 3 years after Marie disappeared, police try a new forensic program on Marie's computer, and out spilled in crimson blushing clarity texts between Marie and James that they were sending each other, along with pornographic photos. Keith says some things are hard to unsee. We'll spare you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. I'm sorry you had to take one for the team.
I'm really sorry.
Although I do have some of the messages that I'll share maybe at the end that I got from the episode of Cold Justice that dealt with this case.
You will be sharing them at the end.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's nasty. So.
Is it?
It's not great.
Okay.
So it's very much like when on our Patreon, we read Chad Daybell's erotic fan fiction.
Oh my gosh.
But actually more explicit, because that was a lot of dry humping over athletic shorts.
For those of you who want to know, without giving away too much, basketball shorts is mentioned so many times in this erotic fiction, which is the weirdest, non-sexy. It's so weird. I'll never get over it. Okay.
Yeah, loin fire was the hottest thing in there. The rest is...
It's so bad.
Tepid. It's like a 11-year-old would write, because that's what they think sex is.
Basketball shorts.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. Okay. All right. Keep going. It's so bad. Like, yuck.
Marie's phone and credit cards all stopped the day she went missing, which they think is pretty good proof. She had told her family she was in a situation she wanted out of, but she wasn't going to leave her baby.
Yeah, because you're with a creepy pastor, his extra creepy wife who's making weird murdery comments.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that he probably was doing a very strange, if he was charismatic, which everyone keeps saying he was probably manipulating her into believing that polygamy was what God wanted. He was probably doing all that stuff, right?
Or he got caught sleeping with her and then convinced Tanya to stay with him and go along with the sister wife thing if she gets to keep the baby.
If she gets to keep the baby and keep her status in the church.
Exactly.
Right.
Mm-hmm. A month before she vanished, Pastor James did a YouTube sermon where he's in a Tommy Bahama shirt or knockoff Tommy Bahama. And he says, when someone wrongs me, what my emotions want me to do is choke the life out of them. And he laughs like a crazy person without blinking.
It's so weird because I think, and there's a pause between the choke the life out of them and the there's definitely a pause because he's not getting the reaction from the crowd. This is when the sermon started to go, pew,
yeah,
just
he
down
jumped the
toilet.
shark.
Yeah. He started with the polygamy and now he's getting real violent. It's not good.
So finally, they're ready to prosecute their circumstantial case and they charge him with second-degree murder. But before the trial, Pastor James decides to take a deal, which will reduce the charge to manslaughter, but he has to tell them exactly what happened and where Marie is.
Okay.
So he tells them that they were sister wives, and Marie herself called it a throuple. And Keith repeats throuple because he's never heard the word before, because this is, again, maybe before that word was as popular as it was now.
Okay.
Also, he's Keith Morrison. He doesn't know
He doesn't
of
deal in
thruples.
anything
He's
like
a monogamist. He says Marie was in a downright spiral after she had the baby, and he was concerned, and he told her she needed to be hospitalized.
Okay.
Which is kind of funny considering what happens to him later.
Yeah.
And they got into a fight over it, and he kind of bear hugged her, and then they were struggling and they fell to the floor in a weird way that caused her to instantly die accidentally. Keith calls it a fatal bear hug. I would choose a bear over a bear hug any day.
Yeah.
I do not like hugging, and hugging, as this shows, leads to death. His story just does not make sense.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's making himself not an active participant, and
it sounds like he was loving her to death.
Loving her to death. I was trying to comfort
it's
her.
really bad.
Yeah.
That's horrific.
So then he panicked and he buried her in the backyard. And Nestle, the detective, is so upset at this that she has to get up and leave the room because she feels like she missed her. I'm glad she didn't blame the cadaver dog, that good boy or good girl.
No, she's not going to do that.
Just blame the radar equipment. So he says Tanya was out shopping and he was able to bury Marie before she came home.
No.
How long was she running errands? With a 3-month-old?
With a newborn? No.
See, that makes me think I don't believe that Tanya didn't know. But he says she did not know. James's lawyer tells Keith, trust me, I had to tell Tanya what her husband did, and she was in utter shock. She did not know. And I did actually find him credible, at least like he believes that she did not know from her expressions. Digging a grave and burying someone in the backyard, first murdering someone and then digging a grave and burying them and then covering it up, filling it up so there's no hole and no mound of dirt.
Right. But you wouldn't notice that there's weird dirt. You're going to notice in your backyard if there's a weird mound of dirt.
Unless their whole thing is like just dirt and piles of dirt, or that he put a bunch of planters over it or something. But again, that takes time.
And wouldn't she be way more active in trying to find her?
If she didn't know, yeah.
I'm curious what people think in the comments.
Yeah.
I'm very curious.
So they bring James to the backyard and he shows them where Marie is buried and he falls to his knees and cries fake charismatic tears.
I'm so sorry.
And they do find her body wrapped in a blanket, buried where he said it was.
5 feet down. So I'm wondering how far.
That takes a long time.
It does take a long time. And also that's probably why the dog couldn't. I mean, that's pretty deep. They're a lot shallower than that. Digging 5 feet down is harder than people think.
So the expression 6 feet under is just a phrase.
No, I think that those go down that far, but those are dug with machines.
But could a cadaver go to a cemetery and would they smell all of the...
Really good question. How far?
The dog's noses can smell for like miles.
I'm looking it up. How deep in ground
How long to die in snow?
Can cadaver dog smell for school paper?
School essay for spec script.
Oh, trained cadaver dogs can typically detect human remains buried 3 to 15 feet.
Wow.
That's crazy. Most working dogs reliably locate remains buried 3 to 6 feet deep in standard earth.
So we really should be blaming the good boy cadaver dogs.
No, we shouldn't. I think
there.
that we have no pictures. We do not know what the
We
layout
don't know
is
if it
in
had
the
just
backyard.
rained.
We don't know how big it is.
We don't.
have no idea.
They might not
We
have taken them everywhere. We don't know
got
the
nothing.
conditions. Maybe one of the dogs had a cold. We don't know. So he gets 15 years, but he could be out in as few as 11, which is terrible. And I did my math, which was totally wrong. And I thought he probably was already out and I didn't want to know. But then I looked it up anyway because I couldn't help it. But he is still in, but he will be due to be out in 2 years.
Oh, that's so unfair. Okay.
Yeah. But the family agreed to this because they really wanted to know where she was and what happened.
Right.
So Jeff had to explain to Paris that her mom wasn't coming back, which is so sad. And the family gathers for a celebration of life and sings karaoke. And Esta says that Paris was singing with her daughter and it reminded her of them. And she says she wants to tell Grace all about her mom and how much her mom loved her. And I was thinking, oh my God, where is Grace? Is Grace with Tanya still? She was never charged with anything, so she gets to raise Grace.
Someday Grace will know.
Yeah, I hope so. Such a good dateline.
What did they say?
First of all, what is our secret count?
9.
Oh, I really thought we would break double digits.
I have a lot of numbers here, though. So if you could just take a quick look at down here. I'll try to get it so you can see it.
Oh, boy.
See,
Can't even tell what's going on.
There's a lot of numbers written down. I'll send you a screenshot. I started and restarted multiple times, but I think this is the final count was 9.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate your hard work.
Could be up to 11. But
it's a give or take. It's 9.
It's
give
9
or take.
to 11. Yeah. That's what we got. Okay. What are some of just read me like the 2 of the text messages because I'm curious.
Okay. So on cold justice, lots of good information. Okay.
Oh, no.
I want to use my mouth to give you a massage. I'll massage your butt. Squeeze your milky nipples.
No.
And one just says, my penis says hello.
Okay. That's enough. Is that from the pastor?
Yeah. Well, back and forth. Well, not the penis one and the squeeze. I'm assuming his nipples were not milky.
Oh, so that's like when she had birth.
Yeah, she had given birth.
Massage your butt. Okay, that is wild.
I want to, yeah.
Pastor Flanders.
Your milky nipples.
Keep it in your pants. You didn't.
Your basketball
you killed
shorts.
Someone. Keep it in your basketball shorts. All right. No. Everybody, please follow us on social media at Dateline, Instagram, TikTok.
Follow us on YouTube, A Date with K&K, because Adam is doing such good work with these videos and the reels.
He's doing the Lord's work.
Some might say he is really doing the Lord's work in sneakers. So thank you, everybody. And join our Patreon for ad-free episodes that come out early every week and a whole bunch, dozens and dozens and dozens of back episodes that you can hear for free that are bonus things that you've never heard before.
And I think that we could really easily call this episode Practical Polygamy. That's what I believe what it was called at one point. Sex and sake. Obviously, that would have worked.
Yeah.
A Bible study in pink. Because pink was her favorite color.
Yeah.
Study in
That's
pink.
cute. Mm-hmm.
Sherlock Holmes. Okay. What about a little less polygamy and a little more polyga-you? That's it. That's all I've got. Thank you, everybody, so much.
Bye,
we'll
everybody.
See you next time. Bye.
Later, daters.
Oh, that's cute. Cheers, creeps. Later, daters.